Welcome and thank you very much once again for being here with me. In this class, you will be learning A.K. Ramanujan's poem A River, followed in the next class, The Striders. And the MCQ will follow after the Striders because I have combined both these poems with MCQ. So this class I have divided into 5 parts. In the first part, I discuss about Ramanujan, then an introduction to the poem, A River. Then we will run through the poem and I'll give you a summary and themes and we'll wind up. So Ramanujan, actually, he needs no introduction. He's a famous Indian poet, scholar and linguist. He is known for his poems. His essays is there an Indian way of thinking. It is prescribed for us. And the 300 Ramayanas it's a controversial work. And if I were to introduce the poem River, the River was published in 1966 in his collection, The Striders. One established him as a poet. And the river, what is the river? It is Vaigai in Madurai. Madurai, as you know, it's a seat of Tamil culture. And what is the poem is about? It is a commentary, a criticism, it satirizes the romantic poets, the traditional romantic poets, who only speak about the flood time and forget the 9 months when the river runs dry. And the central theme is the attitude of poets towards suffering. Okay, and there are, if you look at the structure, it has got 4 stanza structure, uneven number of lines. The first stanza has 16, second 11, third 7, and fourth 15. And there is no rhyme scheme, but there is assonance, enjambment, all those. There is movement and rhythm. And if we look at the summary in 6, actually the poet sets the tone. And he says that every year poets praises the river Vaigai when it is flood. And at the same time, when the river is empty, nobody bothers about it. And at the time it's empty, all is what you may call vulgarities are exposed. And he says that the flood, it takes away a lot of lives. And but nobody's poets are not never mention it. The house is washed away, cows died, a pregnant woman dying with twins in her tummy. So actually, he says that even old and new poets, both of them write about poems, about river. They forget certain things. So he strongly criticizes that part. And now we must see the poem in order to understand it properly. Give me a second. I'm just run through the poem. This is since it's a detailed one. A river in Madurai, city of temples and poets, who sang of cities and temples. Every summer, a river dries, trickle in sand. So he's speaking about the other side of river, and what you can see when the river dries up. It in the river dries to trickle in the sand, barring the sand ribs, straw, and women's hair, clogging the water gates at the rusty bars. So ultimately, it's the river. There are a lot of things needs repair. The bars are rusty, and under the bridges and patches of repair all over them. The wet stones glistening like sleepy crocodiles. There are 2 metaphors he used. The stones, one is sleepy crocodiles, and the dry ones, shaven water buffaloes longing in the sun. So the stones, it looks like sleepy crocodiles, and the water buffaloes longing for water, longing in the sun for water. The poet only sang of the flood. So it's clearly setting the tone and a criticism against traditional romanticism. He was there for a day. Actually, that is how poets are there. When they had the floods, people everywhere talked of inches rising, of the precise number of cobbled steps run over by water, rising on bathing places. So ultimately, people only look at those things. Actually, we even know what happened in 2018, the rainy season, the flood, and the way it carried off. Nobody speaks about the way it carried off 3 villages, one pregnant woman, and a couple of cows named Gobi and Brinda. Look at the name of the cows. It's Gobi and Brinda. Sometimes they may ask you if they trick you. New poets still quoted the old poets, but no one spoke in verse of pregnant woman. So he says, why are you not speaking about the realities? Okay, old and new one, they only praise at the only one thing. Drowned with perhaps twins in her, kicking the blank walls even before death. This is the most poignant and most touching. The kids trying to escape from the mother's belly. They kick in the blank wall and they die. No one speaks about it. So it touches our pathos, our inner sense. And the last part he said, he repeats in the second stanza here. He said, the river was water enough, has water enough to be poetic about only once a year. So only once a year river has water to be poetic, and then it carries away in the first half hour 3 village houses, a couple of cows named Gobi and Brinda, repetition, and one pregnant woman. Now he gives more details, expecting identical twins with no modes in their bodies, with different colored diapers to tell them apart. So it's a very touching poem in which he speaks about the social realities, and he says that poems must speak about reality. It's not about old romanticism. So now we move back and look at the themes of this poem. Again, thank you very much once again. Yes. So, as I told you, it's a critique of traditional romanticism, social commentary, and imagery and contrast we discuss. As I told you, it satirizes the old poets. And new poets only speak about the flood season, living when the river is dry, and it includes a lot of human suffering. And if you look at the imagery, a lot of beautiful imagery. The drowned cow, the houses, the temples, and look at the contrast. There is a stark contrast between romantic poet's vision of the river and beauty and the dry season it posted by Ramanujan, and the tone is satirical. He mocks at the other poets. So, in short, this is what we need to learn about. And the next class, you'll learn about the other poem, and after that, you'll do the MCQs. So, thank you very much once again for being here. I'll see you in the next class. I'm eager to see you there. Take care, study hard.